first meeting on the agenda tonight is 8 Porter Ave. Jeremy, can you read that into the record?
Yes. The petition for 8 Porter Ave. The applicant is seeking a variance to construct a two-car garage. This proposed plan is in violation of Article 5, Section 5.2.0, the Burlington zoning bylaw that requires a minimum 15-foot setback. The applicant is seeking a reduction to 7.52 feet.
Thank you. And if the applicant's here, if you can come up to these microphones here and introduce yourself and give us an overview of the project.
Sure, I can go first. My name is Kevin Oreskovich. I'm one of the two homeowners. We're about 200 yards that way. So I'll let them get into the details of the project if you need that. But we're looking to add a two-car garage primarily because we're kind of overwhelmed with the volume of material from our two kids. So we have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, both very active in sports. You know, tons of space required basically for that equipment and all that kind of stuff. Would be lying if I told you I love cleaning my car off in the winter as well. So, you know, we're looking to stay in Burlington. We've been here since our 8-year-old was in the womb. So looking to stay here for the long term, and this really makes that a lot easier for us.
I'm Mike Antonuccio, Imperial Builders, one of the builders. This is Bob, also of Imperial Builders.
I'm the petitioner on the document. If you look at the plot plan, you can see from the plot plan that the garage is going on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, due to the layout of the property, it wasn't possible to put the garage on the opposite side, so we're pretty much landlocked as to where the garage could go.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start with questions from the board. Rob, do you want to start us off?
I don't think I have any questions.
Thank you. Jeremy?
I don't have any questions at this time.
No questions at this time.
Go.
I feel your pain with kids and sports, so
I appreciate that.
I do not have any issues.
Just curious, describe that interior layout for me there coming in from the garage side.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Just lay out the layout for me.
So we've got just pull it up so I can pull out the exact
Go into the kitchen,
measurements.
or
Yeah, it goes right into the,
that's where the kitchen is on that side?
yeah, kitchen's on that side, so if you look on the back side of the garage too, there's a small mudroom that is a deck right now, so mudroom will go into the garage area, then from mudroom into the kitchen area, and that's how you get from the kitchen to the garage. Other side of the house where the living room is, again, and even so, I think right now we're about 18 feet from the property line where the house stands, so adding anything to the other side of the house would be impossible anyways.
For what it's worth, that's the door we use primarily to back into the kitchen, so it'd be the same
No, I get
workflow
it.
for us.
I'm basically okay with it, because I want to wait for this, like the neighbors, and see where it goes from there.
Sure.
Okay. I don't really have any questions at the moment either, so I think this is a public hearing, so we can open it up to the public. If anybody is here to speak for or against the applicant, you can come up and steal one of these mics and introduce yourself. That would be good. Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, are there any more questions or comments from the board?
No, just, I feel funny because I haven't gone by to view this property. I normally do, but I've been away on vacation, I got back late last night. So I really know the layout. Just tell me, how far is that house to the right of your way? Is there a buffer zone between, is there a natural type of natural buffer zone between you?
Yeah, there's probably, I hate to estimate the distance, but they've got a decent sized yard. So my dog hangs out with their dog across the fence.
So your side yard is their side yard, or is it their backyard?
It's the two side
Just the
yards are
two side
adjacent to
yards?
each other. Exactly.
So he's gonna have at least 15 feet on his
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's quite a bit of area there.
There is?
Yeah, here for his 220-pound mastiff, yeah, they got plenty of space.
All right.
And they did say that we went to them before we even started engaging builders, just to make sure they were comfortable with it. They couldn't come
Well,
tonight,
I'd be
but,
here if they weren't, so.
right.
All right, I'm good. Thank you.
No questions.
Anybody else? Okay. Are there any motions?
Motion to approve 8 Porter Ave for a sideline variance of 7.52 feet. I don't know what else.
Should probably do
By
that
the
off
plan.
plot plan and the-
From a plot plan dated 7/14/22. And A1 through A10.
Second.
Good?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it back anyway, so make sure it's all right. All right, motion has been made and seconded to approve 8 Porter Ave, for a sideline variance to 7.52 feet, as shown on plot plan dated July 14th, 2022, and plans, for 8 Porter Ave submitted with the application, drawer number A1 through A10. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
So the next agenda item on our list is Blanchard Road, 76 Blanchard Road, for a sign. I believe that they've asked to continue this to the next meeting, which is October 4th. So do I have a motion for a continuance to October 4th?
Motion to continue the hearing for Aware and 76 Blanchard Road to the meeting of October 4th, 2022.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to continue 76 Blanchard Road for Ware to the next meeting, October 4th, 2022 at 7:30. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the next item on our agenda tonight is 265 Wynn Street for a sign. If that applicant's here, if you can come up to the microphone and introduce yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna speak to,
What are you?
Wait.
65 Wynn Street? Oh, I was told that they,
No, that was Aware, right?
oh no, we were
Yeah.
told that Weir was not going to present. What are you? What is
Are
he?
you all here for the same thing?
For the same thing?
We are.
And what are you here for?
Yes, he's here for
Are
us.
you the applicant?
no, we're opposed.
Okay.
Okay, you just wait until the public hearing, we'll call for you.
We'll call you up. So if the applicant's here, you can sit right down over there. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vasu, and I'm from Fast Signs of Woburn. And I'm representing my client, Dr. Lily Tayari. We're proposing an exterior sign on the building for her clinic. The sign is a push-through cabinet, which is illuminated, and it's 30 inches tall by 120 inches wide. Per the bylaws, it's only 6 feet that's allowed, but we're going with the 10 feet because of the size of the lettering. At 10 feet, it shows 9 inches tall, and we felt that if it's 6 feet, it won't really be visible or legible for people driving by, which is why we went with the 10 feet option. And if Dr. Lilly wants to add something to that.
Yeah, I've worked in Burlington, Barica, for about 14 years down the street 2 miles, and I finally bought my own practice with Wynn Street. And a lot of my patients are, drive by and look for me. So I've had 2 signs that I've put in, and sometimes they tell me they have a hard time finding it. So that's why I decided, it's been a year that I put in, and I put the other 2 signs, and once I got a couple couple of the patients telling me that, I decided to kind of go ahead and I contacted him for that.
Okay, thank you. John, do you wanna?
Do you know what the size of the other signs in the building are?
I,
Realty Express or the,
I do not.
their dimensions are?
But they're about the same if you look at the,
I believe the Realty Experts one is bigger on the back of the building, but the one in the front, I believe are about the same size.
Well, I'd like to find that out. Also, did you do the sign up at the 6 feet so we can see what that would look like?
I did not. I mean, I can provide that as, if you guys want me to.
I would like to see the difference.
Sure.
Because sooner or later, we're gonna, that whole building's gonna have signs all over it.
Sure.
And I'm just trying to keep it all uniform, that's all.
Absolutely.
So, that's what my thoughts are.
Joe?
Kind of have the same argument. I agree with, John doesn't want to give you any, keeping everything symmetrical out there.
I mean, that's still in the middle of the center, what do they call it?
Overlay district.
That overlay district, so I mean, that must have some restrictions on it.
I don't believe that's part of it.
Oh, it's not? Really?
I had to look into it, but I didn't see anything of being part of the overlay district when I was pulling up the other signs.
I'd like to find out what those other size signs are, and I'd like to see this at that other sign. I'm not saying no or anything to this.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want
Right.
to see the comparison.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's a pretty bold sign.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, right on Wind Street, so it's, I think we have a little bit of room there.
yeah, I didn't actually pursue this until the guy above put two signs on both sides of the building. So if you look at his sign, there's two signs on this side of the building and two signs on the other side of the building, and they both are illuminated.
So, yeah, that's kind of
I actually
question I
had
had.
concern with the,
Yeah, so, I don't know how they put them up if, I'm reading the,
there are building permits on them I was able to pull up. The question is,
but they're, they're clearly in,
we've given variances there, that Realty Expert sign does not meet criteria, so it's gonna say no other signs even if by right.
possibly, I don't know, that's an old sign though, I don't know.
It could be without, I'm trying to see if I can find
But
something on that.
one of the things I noticed on the variance application here is that they are in violation of 3.2.4.8, which is on any side of the building, while signage shall be permitted either at the first floor level or on upper floors, but not both, and it looks like they're kind of on both right now somehow. We haven't seen them, so just a little confusing, I guess.
Well, so how do we move forward with that? Who's going? You have to go to the building.
I think that's something I would want to talk to the building inspector about before we,
Those are condos, right?
I don't know.
I think those are
I don't believe so.
They're not?
Because the way I'm pulling it up, it's coming up as one address on Viewpoint. Oh, I can check the deeds.
Well, are those condos?
Yes, they're condos. I own two condos, but they're connected. And I don't know if the upstairs, there's the one CPA, as far as I know, is only one, but I could be wrong, so. Mr. Singh, I think he purchased that after I have purchased it, and the sign just went up about, I wanna say a month and a half ago, and then it
Yeah,
was two
recently I
signs on each
noticed that pop
sides.
Yeah, it has building permits approved from March for it.
So-
And I was wrong, it is part of the overlay district.
Okay, so why don't we keep taking questions and we'll figure out how to proceed at the end. Joe or John, you guys have anything else?
No, I'm good. I'm good for now.
Jeremy? Jeff, sorry.
I pretty much asked.
Yeah, okay. Jeremy?
No, I've got nothing to ask.
No questions. Okay. I had a couple of other questions too on the existing signs. Are they, the ones that are up top, like the Boston payroll and the accounting and taxes one, are those lit at all? Are they channel lit or are they halo lit, do we know?
They're channel lit. Are they face? I think they light up in,
They light up, but I don't know those technical
Sure.
terms. I'm sorry.
no, this, do they light up on the face?
I drove by them
or are
this
they lit
evening,
back?
and they were definitely lit up.
I think.
The building permits,
Both front and
states
back.
lit, LED lit, 2 sets. That's for Boston payroll, and that's the one for Raj Kishan CPA.
I think they're both the same.
7234 and 7222.
Okay.
I don't think I have that. I wanted to see those other signs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I've seen those.
So, I think while we're kind of digesting some of this, maybe we should open up to the public and let the public speak at this time. So if there's anybody here from the public that would like to speak for or against, if you can come up to one of the open seat microphones and introduce yourself.
You need to.
You have
Come
to,
up to the microphone, sir.
Sign intended to go on the side of the building?
We just need you
Yeah.
to,
Ground.
we need you to introduce yourself first, sir.
Is this sign intended to go in the ground?
Sir.
Can you introduce yourself first for the record?
Can I what?
I need you to introduce
your
yourself
name and
first.
address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Al Manzelli, 262A Wind Street, Wind Street Commons. I'm here representing the Commons.
That's the condo complex across the street?
That's right next to Shaw's.
Yeah, right in front of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Go ahead.
This is going in between my windows on the second floor, because the building, I have a sign on the bottom, which I will be removing, and only the building allows the signs to be on the floor and the level that I am. I'm not allowed to put it on the bottom or on the top. It has to be between my two windows on the second floor. That's by building, I'm not allowed to, my condo
So
laws.
it's not, people driving will not be looking at it.
It's gonna be like the other signs that are in there.
I
Will
see.
be on the building, just like these signs.
Okay, that takes some of my objections away. We thought it was going in the ground, and people would be pulling over the side of the road trying to write down phone numbers, or dial her number. So that was our main objection.
Sure. Okay. Okay, so if the sign's on the facade of the building, that's okay in your view?
Yeah, I think,
In your opinion?
I'm speaking for myself now.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think we would be fine with it.
Okay. Anything else?
Would you be willing to,
Letter that we wrote that was supported.
would you be willing to supply him with some of the pictures
Yeah.
of the proposal so he can share it with his association?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna read this in the record, so this will be on the record.
It's the original signatures that I gave it to you.
Yep, thanks. You can go have a seat back in the gallery. I wanna see if there's anybody else that needs to, be for or against it. Anybody else here that is, for or against that one? I think we should keep the public hearing open for the time being. Yeah, I'm gonna read this in the record, and we can kind of figure out what the next steps are here. Okay, this is a letter, from the Commons at 262 Wind Street. We, the below listed signatories, are residents and taxpayers and owners of 12 properties located at 260 to 264 Wind Street. We oppose this proposed placement of signage at 265 Wind Street for the reasons listed below. Number one, rule of law. The town has delegated the authority to enact and enforce rules regarding signage to the building department. Presumably, the building department has good reason to establish the rules regarding this intersection. You understand that the Board of Appeals has authority to grant a variance to the rule. However, we urge that the board defer to the original reasoning in establishing the rules and to the wishes of surrounding community that will be impacted by the proposed variance. Wynn Street traffic. Wynn Street is one of the busiest and speediest streets in Burlington, and this intersection is one of the busiest in the town. When we consider the proposed signage, it appears to be intended to impart information, that being the doctor's name and phone number. The call to action for drivers already distracted by having come through the traffic light or the yield sign, and further distracted by drivers entering or exiting Shaw's, Dollar Tree, and Dunkin' Donuts area, is to either pull over to write the number down or to dial it on their cell phone, further distracting them. Authors of the Transportation Research, Part A, Policy and Practice, 2009, call roadside advertising signs environmental clutter, which adds additional demands to the driving task. Although they fall short of concluding that there is a direct correlation between the changes in the driving behavior attributed to the roadside advertising, there is an emerging trend in the literature suggesting that the roadside advertising can increase crash risk. Aesthetics. The area in question is populated by convenience stores, doctors' offices, grocery stores, pizza shops, etc. Although most of these do not have roadside advertising, to add more environmental clutter further distracts from the area. Where does it stop? Does every doctor, CPA, real estate agent, etc., look to install similar signage, citing this sign as a precedent? It is interesting to note that there is only one small road sign on Wynn Street in Burlington, besides church signs and school signage, that being a 2x2 sign. While we encourage small businesses to grow and wish them every success, it should not be done at the expense of the aesthetics of the area and the safety of its residents and their visitors. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so, sounds like we need a couple of pieces of information. I definitely want to see what other permits have been issued on that building and understand kind of the dynamics of the whole building, if, because they're condos, they're different units and therefore get different signs, or if it is considered one building. So if there is a no other sign, even if I write on that building, then nothing should go up without our,
Right, I'm sure there is.
yeah, there's gotta be something on this. So, something that I think that the board should probably look into before this is assigned. I did have a question on something that you said earlier. The building owner, they're only allowing you to put a sign on that?
So there's a condominium
Okay,
as far as
Okay, so
what
the
it is,
association.
and there's a board and association. So I've actually gone to them and said, and they said that as long as, I can have one sign on either side. And so the bottom sign that I have on the front, I'll probably take out just because of the visibility, like you said, for people who are looking for me to find it. And that's all it is for, so that's why, as far as I know, the other two that they said, because I said, how come do I need to take my sign out? This is one guy who has 4 different signs, they said that he's gotten a permit from the city, which seems like it's about the same size of what I'm proposing, so.
Well, we're gonna find out what
Yeah.
that's all.
we'll try to figure that out on our side. Are there any more comments from the board?
Yes, I got one more. Looking at the front of the building, you got the 2 upper signs. Look pretty symmetrical, pretty clean looking. You got this one big box over the window.
No,
Why
it
isn't yours between the 2 windows?
It will be in between the 2 windows. He just didn't know about where he placed it. It will be between the 2 windows, probably underneath his second one, that it's closer to the middle of the building.
And it's gonna be a boxed lit sign like that too?
It's gonna be similar to the sign that she has on the other sign for the real estate, but it's smaller.
A little bit different with only the letters being illuminated. The letter, I believe the realty sign in the back, the full cabinet lights up, but in this case, it'll only be the letters that will light up, so,
Any way you can present it with the channel letters and the cabinet?
like, as in,
I'm not a big fan of this cabinet.
Okay.
That's just my personal preference, but
um,
I'm looking at the one in the back, it's just, if, I don't know how many condos are in there and how many more signs are gonna come before us, but,
I own that whole side. I own those 2 on that side. On the other side is the realty that already has a sign on the second floor.
yep.
and she owns the upstairs, and then there's the CPA who owns the other building.
Then you have the first floor when you come around the front,
Yes.
How many units are in the
which
building?
is another sign.
You know, that's a good question. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanna say it's about four in each floor. I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure.
So 12.
Cause I know I have two, but because of the construction, they've separated some of them and some of them it's been done. You know, upstairs, there's 3 different businesses. Altogether, I think there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 businesses altogether, though.
I actually have another comment. Would you be able to put together plans on that for the raceway sign and with the cabinet sign, but having them in the exact locations where they're gonna be?
Front and
If we
back.
were to approve something, we have to approve it to a plan.
Okay. Now, is that just to see the difference, or is,
I
So
would
we
like-
have something to go off of.
Yeah, I would
Say-
like to see a difference between the, what'd you call it, a raceway?
Yeah, the raceway's those signs that are already on
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, I wanna see it at the right size, so to make sure,
Typically, when we approve
we don't
something,
wanna stand your way, but we wanna,
yeah,
you know?
typically when we approve something, it's exactly as it's shown on the, we approve it to the plan, so.
Yeah, and anything you come up with, if you could send it to, I forget your name, I'm sorry. Provide some to him, so him and his other members of association will be able to look at it too prior to coming in.
And I think having it scaled down to 6 feet across, just for a comparison, to your point, so we can see the difference between the size you're proposing and the 6 feet that's within the,
That's the bigger. That's the
We also know that
72
you always put a
That's 6.
caveat on it, no more than 90 lumens,
I'm sorry,
no more than 90 lumens,
okay,
so you know,
Lumens per square foot.
yeah, just so you know, as you're putting it together.
okay. And, I just, if I can add, for the reason for me to show the cabinet is, because of the logo and how intricate it is. You know, I looked at which I put on the last page, the examples. It just goes with the aesthetic of what her logo is, which is why I did it that way. We can do the channel letters, but I couldn't, you know, I can only put the tooth and then Dr. Lily Tayari. You can't get the full design in there, which is the reason for the cabinet. But yeah, I can show the two difference.
The tooth could be in its own cabinet and everything
Yep.
else could be on a raceway.
Yep.
That's October 4th.
So if there's no other questions, motion to continue?
Motion to continue the hearing for 265 Wynn Street until the meeting of October 4th.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to continue 265 Wynn Street to the October 4th meeting, 2022 at 7:30. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, we'll see you on October 4th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can do that via email to the Board of Appeals email address. Thank you.
Ask them to send them to Joanne. No, can't do that. Nope, can't do that.
No, no more.
I was gonna say, so we can at least review first and think about it until you get to the meeting. Oh, you are?
So do you want to, everybody get the minutes?
Yes.
Motion to accept the minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes from the meeting of, I don't have the, August 16th, 2022.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the minutes from August 16th, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Before we adjourn, I want to say for everybody, thanks to Joe Ellen, who has been here for 10 years. I think we started on the same day, almost 10 years ago now. You've been a great asset to the board over the last 10 years. It's been great having you. Sorry to see you go, but very good.
You know,
Good luck in your future retirement.
Who's gonna bring
Semi-retirement.
who's gonna bring my pens
Yeah,
to
right.
me?
I know.
Oh, one of these days.
My paperwork.
Don't forget the pens, ladies.
Yeah, right. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.